What's up everybody, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to talk about my top 5 best basketball shoes of 2025 so far. Of course, this is just a preliminary list. I will do another top 10 video at the end of the year. And if you're interested, I've already done a top 5 in May and only one shoe is still on the list. So there were a lot of awesome releases. Without further ado, let's get straight into it and start with my personal number 5, which is the Nike Ja 3. Nike really killed it with this release. Retail price is 125 euros or dollars. Almost all colorways sell out instantly. They're incredibly fun to play with. The outsole here features a translucent pattern with a lot of Ja Morant signature logos. That's also a cool hidden detail in my opinion. You also have a lot of Ja logos on the upper, but simply for the outsole, it has very good performance indoors. Unfortunately, it's just not very durable outdoors. So if you play outdoors, I wouldn't recommend them for indoors. They're absolutely amazing. The cushioning setup is probably the standout feature of this shoe. It's full length Zoom X, but we actually have 2 layers. There's a recycled Zoom X layer in there and your regular Zoom X foam. It's very comfortable. It's not as bouncy as it was on the Nike GD Cut 3, which was the first shoe to implement Zoom X, but it's still nonetheless an incredibly fun shoe to play with. I've seen a lot of videos and posts, or actually questions about them being unstable because of Zoom X, but in my opinion, it's not the Zoom X that's making them unstable, it's more the upper. It's just very soft, which on the one hand is nice because it doesn't need a lot of time to break in and it confirms your feet well, also to wide feet. On the other hand, it's a little bit dangerous because it just can't handle the amount of energy that the cushioning will give you, because it just doesn't contain your foot on the footbed as well as I would like it. So that's the only thing that's holding them back, and also the reason why I put them at number 5, because the other shoes are just more secure or feel more secure on my feet. Now, if you're a younger player or if you don't weigh that much yet, or in general just don't weigh that much, these will be absolutely fine for you. It can get dangerous if you're a little bit of a heavier player, or if you in general just put a lot of force into your shoes, then maybe these are just not the best option. One thing that's just also annoying for me is that the tongue is incredibly short. Kind of annoying, and I wish it would be a little bit longer just to lace the laces down more properly. To round up the support features, we have a small shank plate in the midfoot. It's just very small, and we have a heel corner, and as I said, the lacing system is okay, but the upper itself is just very soft, which can lead to some stability issues. At number 4, we have Stephen Curry's all-time best shoe, in my personal opinion, which is the Curry Series 7. When I first heard about these, I didn't think too much about them. It wasn't a new signature shoe. They were pretty expensive at $160, so I didn't really have them on my radar, but then I got a lot of questions from my followers that were asking me for a review because they said they are absolutely amazing, and I have to agree. It's one hell of a shoe. They're incredibly lightweight, the lightest shoe on this list by far. They have a flow outsole, which usually makes Curry shoes very grippy on indoor courts, but they do struggle with dustier setups. But here it's a new setup. We have a decoupled outsole with flow pads in the forefoot and in the back. And in the middle, we have a very sturdy shank plate. The flow setup grips incredibly hard on indoor courts. It's absolutely amazing. Top tier grip if it's clean. And I also practiced with them on a dustier court and it was solid. It wasn't great, but it was way better than on past flow models. And if you wipe from time to time, you'll be good to go. One thing, they don't squeak, which of course has nothing to do with performance, as this shoe proves. But if you like your shoes to squeak, these are not for you. Also, if you play outdoors, these are not for you, which is a shame because the durability just isn't good enough. But the cushioning setup is incredible, especially for a Curry shoe. You've got great impact protection in the heel while still being relatively low to the ground in the forefoot. And you'll probably hear me saying that a lot throughout this video, because that's exactly what I want as a professional player from my basketball shoes. I want the forefoot to be nice and stable for my jump shot, and the heel to have a lot of impact protection when I land heavy on my heel or when I'm running up and down the court and then do some heel strikes. But as I said here, the cushioning setup really is amazing for a Steph Curry shoe. Support is also top tier. It's better than on the Ja 3, even though the materials are even softer. I don't know how they do it. We have a solid lacing system with 2 extra reinforced flywire-like cables. And as I said, we have that midfoot shank plate that make these incredibly stiff. The fit is also great for wide footers because the materials are so nice and soft. For the last thing, maybe one thing that's slightly annoying is it's not the most sturdy feeling on your shoe. I played with these when I had like a slight ankle sprain as well, and I just noticed that my ankle wanted more material around it just because it felt better, some compression there, and the cut is extremely low. So if you're not used to playing Curry shoes, that might take some time getting used to, but apart from that, these are one hell of a performer. At number 3, we have the number 1 of last time's top 5, which is the 808 Ultra from Way of Weight. They come in at 140. They kind of decreased the retail prices, which is not something you see often, and they're still releasing top tier colorways. This one is beautiful, and there's another all pink one that just looks absolutely amazing. By the way, if you're wondering where you can cop all these shoes, you can find affiliate links to my partner stores and to the official websites of Way of Weight or 361 or just anything that I have a partnership with in the description box down below, or also in my link tree. If you're on my Instagram or my TikTok, you can find all the codes, discount codes, links, whatever there. And it would really appreciate if you could buy through those links if you decide to buy one of these pairs. Now back to the 808. They have a nice and durable outsole, although I've gotten some complaints from followers that their outsoles have parts breaking off or just ripping off only with indoor use as well. That's also why I decided to put them downwards a little bit on this list, because I was always praising their durability. For me, they've been awesome. But since I've gotten a lot of messages, pictures, reports, so to say, from other people hooping in them or hooping more in them than I get the chance to, simply because I have so many shoes and I like to rotate, I put them down a little bit because of that. So maybe there's some durability issues if you hoop with them excessively, especially outdoors. There's another pair from Way of Weight that might get into the list towards the end of the year, the AC13 Encore, and those have been incredibly durable. But just for the 808 Ultra, the highlight feature of this shoe definitely is the drop in midsole, full length, super boom. That's even an upgrade over last year's model, because that only had a boom midsole. It's incredibly bouncy. You still have good court feel in the forefoot, as I said, with the past 2 shoes as well. And we've got great impact protection in the heel, and definitely the highlight of the shoe. We've got some carbon fiber accents as well, a shank plate, and here in the heel. So you have got very, very good support. The materials are nice, thin, breathable. Everything you want from a basketball shoe, all synthetic mesh-like uppers, a very comfortable shoe. The only thing that's holding it back for me personally is the fit. They are incredibly narrow. That's also the reason why I put the other 2 shoes over them, because when I'm going to practice and I'm thinking about, okay, which shoe should I practice in, I would probably not pick the 805 Ultra because they're so narrow, and the other 2 shoes, they just always get my attention. They're always in the close consideration of being worn or being hooped in. And when I look at these 2 shoes, I always get excited to hoop in them, which is just exactly what a basketball shoe should be. So at number 2, we have the Adidas AE2. Kind of fitting that they're at number 2. I like them more than the AE1s because they're lighter and there's some other things they improved. The traction pattern is kind of similar to the AE1s, although they made some few minor tweaks. We now have a solid rubber outside and a translucent inside of the outsole, if that makes sense. We can also see a shank plate through there, and the bite itself is very good indoors, but just also not very durable. If you really want to take a pair outdoors on this list, it's probably the 808 Ultra, or you can check my videos on the best shoes for outdoors. Back to the AE1s, the cushioning setup is a little bit of a downgrade for some people compared to the A1s, because they're not as comfortable anymore, not as soft, there's not as much compression, but there's good impact protection in the heel and you're very low to the ground in the forefoot, which is exactly what I like, as I said. And I prefer this setup over the A1s because I don't feel so high off the ground like I felt with the regular ones. In my opinion, they feel a little bit like the AE1 lows. Another thing they changed is the material, which is absolutely amazing. I love it. It's a textile mesh-like on the outside, and then we have those plasticky overlays with this kind of triangle here in the toe box that adds support. And in my opinion, that does a good job. It's way lighter than the ones and it just feels better on foot. It breaks in quicker. Essentially, we had all those materials on the A1s as well, but just underneath the cheese grater-like capsule that they had over there. So these are, in my opinion, an upgrade. The support features are pretty much the same. We now have 2 heel capsules here on the side, or 2 carbon fiber-like accents. Unfortunately, it's not carbon fiber, and I showed you that shank plate already. It's got pretty good torsional support, and I really like playing them. They're an awesome shoe to play in, very fun, and in my opinion, they also just look incredibly great. I forgot to say the retail price. They're coming in at 130 euros or dollars. And the fit is actually also decent for wide footers after you break them in. The toe box is unfortunately still narrow like on the AE1s. And now, drum roll, the number 1 shoe of 2025 so far, in my personal opinion, is the Adidas Dawn Issue 7. That might definitely be a surprise for a lot of you out there, because the Dawn Issue line has been flying under the radar for a while. And I know some other reviewers have also been giving high praise to the Dawn 7, but these are really one hell of a shoe. They are very close to the Book 1, which has turned into my all-time favorite shoe. Of course, you can see some other honorable mentions here in the background. I thought hard about putting the Shea 1 here because they also generate so much hype, but for me, the performance just isn't better than the pairs I mentioned right now. Maybe they can kick out the jaws, but they're way heavier, so that's a downside. The Antakai 2 is very nice. The Harden Volume 9 is still very good. The Joker 1 GT is awesome. The Easy one is still also really, really good. The Sabrina 2 is a very nice pair. I have a pair of the 741 Rover coming up. Also the LeBron 23 should arrive soon. So there's still some pairs coming in, and you'll see a fully updated top 10 list at the end of the year. But now for the Dawn 7, to finish it off, we have excellent traction performance. Just be aware that they do pick up dust. If it's really, really dusty, you have to wipe a lot. If it's moderately dusty, you're still good to go. Unfortunately, they're also not for outdoors, but indoors you really get a top tier bite. The cushioning setup is also a highlight in my opinion. It's Light Strike Pro with a really thick slab of it here in the heel area and less in the forefoot, but still enough. You got impact protection, but you still got amazing court feel, which is exactly how I want my shoes to be. I also really like the design of these shoes, and the support features are also very good. We have this midfoot shank plate, which kind of goes up on the side as well, which is a new thing. It's kind of like an outrigger as well. We have a lacing system with some extra flywire cables, and one detail that is especially cool in my opinion, and that is that the last lace loop up here has a flywire cable that doesn't go straight down, but it goes backwards towards the heel, so that gets rid of heel slip. The materials are really nice and comfortable. Minor downside, not very breathable. The shoe is light as well, a very lightweight shoe from Adidas, not something you see a lot. And just overall, a really amazing performer, a lot of fun to play in, and always when I'm thinking about which shoe I'm picking, the Dawn Issue 7 is there, and I've practiced in them a lot and have had no issues whatsoever, apart from them being slightly too hot if you really have a like 2.5 hour practice session in them. With that being said, that's all I have for you. Let me know if there's any pairs that you think deserve a spot on this list. One more pair that just came to mind is the Dame X. Those are also very nice. Also at a great price point, just 90 euros or dollars, but in my opinion, not better performing than the 5 pairs I showed you right now. If you enjoyed the video, I would really appreciate it if you could leave a like, and I'd appreciate it even more if you could subscribe to my channel. With all that being said, have a good one and see you next time.